Okay guys, just a quick update on the index speaker solution I'm working on for the Pico Neo 3 Link. So originally this was a Quest 2 design by Pretty Good 3D, and it was a vertical adjustment for where you clip onto the head strap. It was just up and down. Someone remixed that, making it a pivot so you can move the speakers out of the way on your head strap, just so you can sort of listen to people. If you're sim racing, just move it out of the way so you haven't got noise going when you need to talk to someone. I've remixed this again because obviously the Quest 2 head strap is different to the Pico. So basically I made this fit the Pico Neo 3 Link, and then on the right hand side I added the DisplayPort support section here. Still not quite happy with it because the original design and the remix is using a nut and bolt, which is obviously completely different. This must be Imperial or something over in America, but I have no nuts out of this size, and I have no screw that is that size. So basically the only screws I've got in the house, these are off the wall sockets, and I've had to cut them down basically and just make it cut its own thread. So it's far from perfect in this situation, and it needs constant tightening up. So I needed to address that. I don't like the assembly as well because it's a faff to assemble when you've got a screw and nut involved, and then wires threading through stuff. So essentially on the remix that I've done now, coming from this one, because it was originally made for Quest 2, the speaker was actually quite far away from your ear, and also the angle was a bit odd, just because I like this right up against the front of the head strap on the Pico, so the display cable's in the right way, and when you pivot it makes the speaker in the right place, but the angle once you pivot it up was a bit odd. Sort of, you can probably see it's a bit pointing up in the air and also sort of pointing forward. Didn't really work, so making that a bit closer to my ears as well to add some more bass. I've remixed the arm and the bracket yet again. Still keeping this back cone, but I will adjust that if anyone needs to use terminals, because if you put terminals on the connection, that back cup won't fit because it's obviously profiled as close as possible to this end here. Again, you can go open back, but I think it's going to suffer with the bass because at the minute my basic man math tuning is just putting a bit of wadding, just a cotton pad in between this and there. Again, you can, if you're an audiophile, you can tune your audio that way if you know what you're doing, but I really don't. So yeah, the new system is getting rid of the nut and bolt and the pivot section there. I did have an idea to remix this as well to cut out, so it's not actually having to thread through this bracket and permanently be fixed through that bracket, because obviously if you're soldering you're stuck at that point. But all I've done at the start is basically smooth off this arm, get rid of the Oculus logo, because I'm using a Pico, and these magnets are super strong, so there's no worry about the pivot resistance. I've got the same problem with this. It's got no weight in, but obviously with this, if I do shake it like this, it will pivot itself, but it doesn't do that on your head. So there's no issues with that. So basically I've added recessed magnets here, 20x3 magnets, which basically makes assembly a lot easier because you can just thread this through, have a nice long cable here to obviously get your wiring done, and also when you tuck it away, if you want to put this in a carry case, the problem with this one is the bracket's poking up this end and then your speaker's poking out this end, so you've got quite a bit of heft to go in a carry case, and obviously the wire's obviously going to be constantly adjusted there. Doing it this way basically just makes more sense. So if I try to do this without the magnet trying to attach itself, essentially if I reverse this onto here, the magnet's obviously got the resistance through the plastic there, that saves itself, and then you've got this profile that's just one shape here. And of course once you've got the two together you'll be able to just tuck them close, and it just makes it really easy to put in a carry case. Because again, even though these pivot up, it doesn't really fit obviously in any carry case at all because the speakers are going to be so wide. And then taking this off, I couldn't really fit them because of this profile and that profile together. I couldn't fit them behind the lenses like I wanted to, especially with the controllers in the case. So this one works perfect, does the job, and obviously it just makes the things a little bit easier to assemble. This one here is the left one, so it's not got any cable on top here. I need to print the right, but I've just run out of these magnets, so I'm going to have to wait a few days for that to get sorted. I'll just put the other one back together just for the time being. But yeah, it's a really good design. Obviously I can't do anything with this. I wanted to add a bit of sort of netting or something over this, but I couldn't quite figure out a way to do it because internally I don't want it hitting the the driver, and then externally there's nothing really here to do. So for now, this will do. This gets it closer to my ears. I'm gonna, again, I'll be able to see the difference in bass this way, I suppose, as well, because this one's going to be as it was, and this is a bit closer, and then the angle's a bit better as well once it's pivoted. So yeah, just a quick update. Seems to be going well so far. I actually had the wires backwards as well, so don't be like me and just ham at it and think you know best. Get your multimeter, check your wires before you get them into the drivers, because obviously you need to check the resistance against the actual terminal, the 3.5mm jack, as in left, right, ground. Check that first before you wire it up, because although mine worked and they sound fine, the driver was actually, if you put a positive connection to it, it was recessing, not expanding. So yeah, I completely cocked up just by ham-fisting the wire and getting too ahead of myself. So this time around it should sound better, but yeah, just gotta wait for these magnets to turn up. But yeah, any 3D printing stuff you can do. I'll put these designs online once I'm happy with it. It's obviously got to go through a few testing phases still. This back cup design I wouldn't mind changing. I personally don't want to glue it. This is just a push fit at the minute. It pushes in here. But what I've noticed, if I've left this on my desk, obviously I've got lens cover. If I left it on the desk, that back cup, obviously being PLA, warmed up and it's distorted. So not sure what you can do about that, whether you glue it or just print in a better material. Everything else seems to be fine. It's just obviously where that back cup was just expanded, and it doesn't help the fact that, as you can see, the push fit's quite good on this recent print one, but I can't even get it off one-handed. This is very tight, even though I've soldered it and bent the terminals in. And excuse a really shitty, quick solder job. It's just obviously for me to test. I made a mess of these terminals, obviously trying to get the old solder off. But yeah, the cup itself I'm going to expand out, because if you do want to just put crimps on, again, if you mess it up, it's easier to sort that way. But yeah, I'll expand it up because this is a really tight fit, even without that inside. And again, if you know what you're doing, you could probably port this or make it open back or whatever you need to do to tune your sound to how you like it. So personally, I just want a bit of bass. So in my monkey brain, I think if I seal it and make it airtight on the back, it can only come out the front. So that's my logic anyway. I'm probably completely wrong on that. But yeah, I'll check the files up online once they're all finished. And yeah, it's just going to be nice and easy to print. They take half an hour each if on a fast profile. So within an hour and probably 10 minutes of your time, just doing cutting a RCA cable up and just wiring it up. Yeah, you can have a nice audio solution for about 30 quid, I think. Factoring in the magnets as well. If you can use them elsewhere, obviously the more you buy, the cheaper it's going to get. That's probably the most expensive part, really, because the drivers are about £10 each, and then the magnets are probably 7 quid for 5 at the minute if you look in the right place. But again, you can use them for other uses. Gun stock here that I've got made. This is a Quest 2 design. Uses the same magnets and detachable gun stock, which I can reload shotguns this way, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's Quest 2. I need to remix that again for the Pico. So yeah, just grab a printer, start making stuff is awesome.